Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center, live on Facebook, live on YouTube this morning. If you are a YouTube person and haven't yet discovered my YouTube channel, I hope you will and find it appealing to you to subscribe, like it, and share it. By the way, there's not a whole lot to see on the Ultimate Doppler radar this morning. The big talk yesterday afternoon was all the rain South Texas had, because we got hit, the United States, we got hit by a tropical storm named Harold in South Texas around the Corpus Christi area. But a lot of ground clutter, as you can see here from the Ultimate Doppler radar, presented by Insta-Dry. Waterproof your basement, do some crawl space encapsulation, maybe you need some foundation repair. Instadry.com, locally owned and operated, have been doing it for over 30 years with the experience that Kevin Jarday and his company has. By the way, the heat continues to be accentuated. Oh, that's a big word. I mean, it's really focused in the areas in fuchsia, purple, where we have, what do we have here? Oh, we have an excessive heat warning. That means it must be really hot, where we've got heat indices, or feels-like temperatures, north of 105. But then you go toward Nashville, and it's a heat advisory. So you got the heat advisory, but it looks like it's not going to be hot in Knoxville. This is one of those advisories and warnings that can really do a number on one's psyche, because you can see where some counties are orange in Tennessee, some are fuchsia and purple, and then some in East Tennessee, nothing. So you just think, oh, it's just not going to be hot here. But really, you just have to pace yourself. Check on your elderly neighbors. Check on your pets. Make sure they have some extra water. Those are just some common sense things to look at. As you can see from the big picture, everybody in the country, most everybody here in this part of the world, will be hot indeed. By the way, the amount of rain that South Texas received, think about this, 6.8 north and west of Corpus Christi, around 7 inches, 5 inches, 4 inches. That's a lot of rain, given the fact they haven't had much rain since April. A lot of rain, certainly concentrated in one part of the Lone Star State. But Texas itself Houston, I should say. Houston had only a trace. So there wasn't a whole lot in Houston, and they probably wish they had some, but a lot of it moved from essentially east to west, and so that was the big story perhaps yesterday afternoon, because they had some power outages due to 50-mile-an-hour winds or higher. By the way, the visibility, if you're playing the home game version for fogs in August, how many fogs in August have you had versus what the McGee-Tyson Airport observers have had? We'll kind of maybe compare notes before the end of the month, but I can tell you it doesn't look all that bad. At least at McGee-Tyson. There's down to about a mile in Oneida, perhaps maybe down to 2 there in Jacksboro. So there is some fog to be found, but perhaps not as debilitating as it could be as far as this morning is concerned. And if you're counting fogs, let me know. Temperature right now in Knoxville, 75. It's 78 in Nashville, 81 in Memphis. I want to say good morning to you. You've reached the middle of the week. And today, with my orange tie, this is go back to school day for UT. Ooh, I got a chance to encourage via text. I got to encourage my college student who goes back to school today. So I'm happy for my oldest, and of course my youngest continues on in the high school track. By the way, one person watching right now on YouTube, if you have a comment, Steve Stone says good morning. Glad to have Steve here. And we jump back over with the tabs, see where you are on Facebook. Marilyn Bell says happy Wednesday, everybody. Search, what'd she say? She says search for shade and stay hydrated today. I can't agree with Marilyn more, because I think that's one of those things that once this is now the third day, we have now classified this as a heat wave. So if we get to 90 today, and we will, yesterday we hit 92. And the day before that, low 90s, about 92, I think, the day before. So we're on a heat wave. Maybe it was 93. But I will tell you this. We're going to continue on this path and maybe just throw out a little bit of raindrop opportunities come tomorrow. More on that in just a second. Wanted to post this. Hope everyone stays safe in the heat. Please drink a lot of water. Stay in the air conditioner if you can. And Felicia, good morning, warm and hazy this morning in South Knoxville. She's mentioning to stay hydrated. And there's Ed says, good morning. It's hump day. In fact, it is the middle of the week. So our temperatures right now are in the mid-70s. You don't have to go that far to drop 10 degrees. Because look at Johnson City. My eyes, was it I Spy with my little eye? It's 65 in Johnson City. It's 65 in Roanoke. So there is some cooler air. If you go up toward Charleston, West Virginia, they're in the low 60s. So it does drop off in a big way. But if you look at these current readings, that's why I say the humidity may be a little bit less. He said a little bit less, especially north and east. I mean, it's 70 right now. Current temperature in Morristown, Talbot, and White Pine. About 68 there in Newport. 69 Crossville. And 66 in Oneida, but it's a whopping 75 at McGee-Tyson Airport. So it is a little sticky in some areas, no doubt. Now, if you look at the feels like temperature, I want to see how things may change. Now, some numbers aren't populating because the feels like temperature formula does not go into effect until it gets a little warmer and we move into the 80s and it starts to have some kind of value or utility. So let's go ahead. I haven't done this in a while. Let's take a look at the future feels like temperatures. Oh, you mean you can tell us the future way of how I'm going to perceive life? Maybe. I mean, it's just academic, I know. But let's take a look. Did we know we got up to about 100 for feels like yesterday around 3 o'clock? This one projects we're on up to 95. You say, 95, 100, what's the difference? 5 degrees? Maybe it feels a little bit less humid. I don't want to say it's going to be worse. It's still going to be hot. It's still going to be hazy. But, I mean, if it only feels like 95 versus the 100 yesterday, well, I just thought I'd share that with you so that you could be the judge. You could say, I don't know what the weather guy was talking about. It was very hot. It's going to be hot. But if you're ultra sensitive to humidity, you may notice it's not quite as high this afternoon as it was yesterday. Again, all academic. Because when you have dew points around 70, which we do, but it's 65 in Middlesbrough, we're right on the fence. We're right on the edge, the cusp of different air masses. I mean, when you talk about 65 Middlesbrough, dew points in the low 60s, it's 10 degrees less humid in Jonesville. And I know if you were to drive to Jonesville, it wouldn't take you all day to get there. It might take you, what, 45 minutes, an hour, depending on the side roads, maybe. But it won't take you all that long, and it's less humid there. And I can tell you Southwest Virginia is also less humid. So that's when I say a little bit less humid. I didn't say it wasn't humid. It's just I'm comparing it to yesterday. Because yesterday we had dew points 70, 75 plus. Today it might ebb and flow to 65 to 68. And it's already down to 65 in Middlesbrough in Bell County. Hope that helps. Let me show you graphically. You can see why the green ooze is coming down from Virginia, West Virginia. And it's affecting the Tri-Cities and parts of East Tennessee at 7:45 this morning. We move into midday today, and it comes back a little bit. It's a little bit less, but then it really comes back tomorrow and later today. As you can see, the green kind of overcomes the entire state of Tennessee. We move into tomorrow morning. It's humid. It's a multiple shade of green by 5 o'clock Thursday, and so it goes. We're going to keep the humidity in place for this weekend. Certainly on Saturday, it's still icky and sticky, and boy, does it look humid. Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock, it's about as dark green as they get. So I would say you're going to be at least in the 70-plus range for dew points come Saturday. Now, the 90-degree days, if you were keeping track, we would typically have at least, he says, 25 days. So where am I getting that? I'm taking half of the August total. That's 5. And I got, what, 12, 7, and 1. So there's 20, 25. So we average about 34 the calendar year, typically May through September. We've had 2 days, yesterday and the day before. Today will be day 3. So today will be the 13th day. And if I'm not mistaken, Wanda Polk can correct me on this, but with the orange tie, if you don't count today, it's a week from Saturday, maybe 10 days away from football time in Tennessee. Isn't that exciting? I think once you go back to school, then you're ready for football. But that's just me jumping ahead of the schedule. 2 days in August, that's it. We had 9 days last month and only 1 day in June, according to the National Weather Service in Morristown. So that's the way things are. By the way, heat is not to be taken lightly. Don't talk about too things somber or to talk about anything that's too heavy for the morning. But the 30-year average, which is the yellow bars, represent 1992 to 2021. Heat is still the #1 fatality killer. We tend to underestimate it. Floods would be number 2. That's on the far left of your map here. And then you look at, well, even rip currents. Rip currents in 2021 accounted for more fatalities than tornadoes. That kind of shocks people, like, no way. Well, that's just the statistics we get sometimes from the National Weather Service. So that goes back as more recently as 2021, but I'm sure there might even be more recent numbers as of now. Moisture deficit, we're not in a problem situation right now, but it's growing. You can see where purple areas exist. We're about 1/10 of an inch in the deficit, in the hole, so to speak, and that might continue to grow, but there will be some opportunities for some rain, especially this weekend, and maybe a flyby shower or storm tomorrow. Wind speed, 7 miles an hour, no wind at spots. And again, you can see there's very few clouds as the sun will be coming up at 7:01 this morning. Not a lot to see. I'm looking up toward the Great Lakes. That's where some storminess, severe weather may exist today. So sunrise, sunset today, 7:01. Goes to bed now at 8:16. Let's get you out the door for the bus stop, because a lot of folks who drop the kids off Want to know, am I going to be dealing with fog? Am I going to be dealing with any rain? Well, obviously no rain is in the picture, at least today, but we're looking for temperatures to jump to 80 by 10, and 2 o'clock should be at least around 90 degrees. Yesterday, at noon, it was 87, and we ultimately got to 92. So if we continue on this track, we should easily be in the mid to maybe borderline upper 80s by midday today. Something to watch very closely. And here are my numbers. I want to check your comments, but here are the high temperatures I expect today. We'll be making a run toward 90 in Crossville, 92 in Morristown, 94 in Knoxville. So if you look at Wartburg, Oak Ridge, Knoxville, Morristown, you're in that 92, 94 range today. And if it's not as extremely humid as it was yesterday, maybe it only feels like the mid-90s during the afternoon, if that dew point drops even ever so slightly, because that's the key to how humid or sticky it feels for you and for me. Good morning. Wanda Post says, yes, I like the orange tie, 10 days. Go Vols. If you don't count today, I guess you count today. It's still, the sun's not up just yet, so maybe you can count 11. But Carrie says, good morning, everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe and hydrated. Alice says, good morning. Enjoy summer. And if you're on YouTube, let's see if we have we got 4 people. So we're getting some, maybe folks are beginning to go to YouTube. Love that. And Steve Stone is one of my premium members on Facebook, but he's saying good morning. Glad to have Steve Stone watching on YouTube. So if that's a platform that you prefer, I'm doing my very best to expand my social media reach. Now, we could talk about raging ragweed for 20 minutes or more. I don't think we need to do that. But I know that if you're having some issues and you're not feeling 100%, and you might assume that you got the flu or you got this, that, or the other, maybe it's just ragweed. You come to East Tennessee, I mean, allergies are kind of a thing here. We get them, and the Aldrich household is no exception, but you might also have some challenges. Headache behind the eye, raspy throat, not feeling 100%, all sorts of things. But if you are, it's not going to get any better between now and Labor Day. It's only going to probably get worse. In fact, I suspect if it's here today and tomorrow, it's probably going to be even higher on Friday and Saturday until we get the rain, maybe more scattered showers on Saturday, because I have a 40% chance there. I just don't think you're going to get much relief, and really have to wait until the first frost to see some big relief this October. Now, subscribing to my YouTube channel is a little confusing because I have premium members that are subscribers, and they do actually pay a nominal fee, 16 cents a day, $4.99 a month, but the YouTube is free. If you are on YouTube and you like to get notifications, I can't tell you the number of times people have direct messaged me, said, I don't get your notifications when you're live anymore. I don't know why. I don't know all the algorithms. I don't profess to know it, but if you'd like to get some information from yours truly, I'd like to be able to share that with you. So getting multiple notifications might be helpful. So find me on YouTube. It's very easy. It's just youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate. And if you subscribe to it, I'm going to be very happy you're there, because it's just another way of reaching East Tennesseans. By the way, as you can see from the National Hurricane Center, we had Harold on the left. Left is Harold. He's fading away quickly in northern Mexico, but the rains live on in southwest Texas. Franklin is the only storm that is a big concern. He's going to have some impact on the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Port-au-Prince, is on the west side, and of course Santo Domingo is on the east side. But Franklin will become likely a hurricane once it crosses over Hispaniola, as it were. And there's also 2 opportunities for new storms to develop as the Hurricane Center sees it in their eyes. 40%, 60% chance we could get some new names. So here's Tropical Storm Franklin, 50 mile-per-hour winds, which, by the way, was about the strength of Harold when he slammed into the Corpus Christi area yesterday. So it's kind of like a 7-10 split. I mean, you got Port-au-Prince on the left, Santo Domingo on the right, and so it goes right down the middle of the island. And it will likely be there as we head through the course of today and into tomorrow. So by the time we got 2 o'clock Thursday morning, it's well out to sea again and has the potential to become a hurricane as early as this weekend. So we'll be watching that, but it's likely to stay away from anyone in the U.S. here. By the way, Harold was the most recent storm. Franklin is still rolling about, but Idalia, Jose, and Katia are the next 3 names on the on-deck circle. We'll be watching that very closely, too. 6:55 now. Want to get you out the door around 7 o'clock. Activity is peaking. This is the time of year that some people like to panic. They go, I've never seen this before. Is this unusual? This is what we expect. History teaches us a lesson. And if you are a fan of history, I know there's probably a few teachers out there, you can understand and relate that there is a season right? Every time you have a 'tis the season, maybe in the holidays, well, this is the season for hurricanes in the Atlantic. And so you typically see a big jump between August 20 and September 10th. Doesn't mean it stops after September 10th, but the frequency does typically trail off. Now, there is some Sahara dust coming off of Africa that's stirred up by the winds. So if you see a lot of brown, there's a lot of wind coming off of Africa. And so there may be some dust in the air. Maybe it affects parts of Tennessee through the weekend, but I think it's really the smoke that you might notice today. Aren't you glad I could show you this? This is actually just a modeling depiction, an illustration, that where you see yellow, you might smell or notice a little more haze in the atmosphere. A little bit more moderate smoke, perhaps near the Tri-Cities, Southwest Virginia, through the course of today. So it might add a little more haze. You can see it looks like it's trying to model out a little wildfire east of Charlotte. So there is the potential that we'll find a little more haze in the atmosphere today. Closer view takes us through the next 12, 14 hours or so, and there's still some dark gray areas. So it's not going to necessarily be all that noticeable, but again, I know that some of you are very sensitive to humidity, sensitive to smoke, and it's helpful to have that intel. All right, headlines, 6:56, hazy hot today. I've added some stray storms Thursday and more weekend rain chances. If you want to know what's interesting, if you were a kid and you had access to a creek, did you ever take a big rock and put it in that creek that has a stream? And then what happens to the water? It kind of moves around the rock, right? So once you get that big rock in the creek that's rolling, it tends to alter the pattern. And now that we've absorbed Tropical Storm Harold in South Texas, it's like now all the models are now recalculating and rebuffering. So now we have a good sense that there could be some things that come down from West Virginia. Yesterday it looked like it was going to be anywhere near here. Now it looks like we possibly have maybe a 20% chance for some stray storms on Thursday. No big deal. I can show you the areas of yellow up toward the Great Lakes you don't typically see. Potentially a tornado up there, but they've got a 2% chance that places near Lake Erie and Erie itself might have a possible tornado today. 2% is pretty small. But there's a better chance they get some scattered severe storms from Detroit to Toledo to Akron and areas around the Ohio Valley. Up north, North Dakota, some isolated severe storms there, but nothing going on here. This changes, however. You'll notice we start to go into the light shade of green Thursday night for places like La Follette, Morristown. But for tomorrow, we'll call it Pittsburgh, Columbus, Charleston, through the eyes of the Storm Prediction Center, and Chicago. Here they put us, it's really more of a Thursday night, or excuse me, Thursday afternoon, if not late morning, we could see something drop down. And then there's another round that comes in on Friday night and into Saturday. So they've put some opportunities for some severe weather from D.C. to Roanoke to Bowling Green on Friday. And you can also see, if you look closely enough, it includes La Follette and Johnson City. So areas to the north, bottom line, have the best chance for maybe some stray storms during the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. If you're on the call, let me know. I've still got 4 people watching here on YouTube. Love that. And if I jump back to Facebook, I've got Audrey says, thanks for the updates. Glad that Audrey is here as we are tracking maybe a little bit of fog in some neighborhoods this morning. 6-mile-an-hour winds out of the northeast at 72 degrees. Our precipitation chances do go up Saturday and Sunday to about a 40% chance, and clearly with all the heat, all the humidity, some of those storms that we just kind of highlighted could be on the stronger, possibly isolated severe side. Today I'm expecting hazy, hot, maybe a touch less humid compared to yesterday. It's all academic. 94 may still feel like the mid-90s through the course of the afternoon. So there's not a whole lot to see here other than to see big bubble, no trouble up toward New York City. The big area of high pressure stays there. A couple of storms do roll into the Pennsylvania, New York State area thanks to a warm front. But we're still in the oven, as it were, as high pressure will eventually get established here. Maybe a few stray showers try to move down over the next 48 hours, but clearly not enough here to really grab your attention. But I do want to show you the map. As you can see, there's a front developing here. This is 5 o'clock Friday. Gets a more active around Charleston, West Virginia, Roanoke, and if you're traveling there, maybe even toward Lexington, they could find maybe some storms, some showers over time. But for us, we're looking at these temperatures. I really wanted to focus on midday. Midday's a good canary in the coal mine. If models like this one suggest we're around 87 or 88 at noon, that's comparable to yesterday. And yesterday we got up to 92. But if we don't have as much humidity in the air, because I do expect a northeast wind today, 5 to 10, that's going to be the mitigating factor. You get a northeast wind, it could drop the dew points just a wee bit. But again, it could be academic because it's still hot. we're still headed toward 92, 93, 94 across much of the area. It is now 7 o'clock. I'm just about wrapping up. Want to get to your forecast, but you can see tomorrow morning we're in the lower 70s, if not around 73, 74. Some of us are starting in the 60s. Midday tomorrow around 86, but I think ultimately we have the possibility to be around 95 tomorrow. And as we've already looked at the humidity, it's still going to be pretty high Thursday. So here's your forecast. 7 o'clock, finishing right on time as best I can. Hazy hot, a little less humid, winds 5 to 10 out of the northeast. 94 for Oak Ridge and Clinton. 92 for Morristown, 90 for Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, 95 for Maryville. If you want 100, I mean bona fide 100 degrees, is that how it feels? No, that's the actual. In the shade. Tupelo is going to be making a run toward the century mark today. They were 97 yesterday in Memphis officially, and I expect they'll be close to 99 today. 98 Jackson, 98 Huntsville. Could be worse, but it's only 88 today in Johnson City. 70 in La Follette, 70 in Newport, 72 for Kingston. Low temperatures tonight, still pretty muggy, but 73 degrees. We're still talking about the humidity in the air. Few high clouds, and the winds will drop off 0 to 5. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee. 95 on Thursday. I popped in a few stray showers or storms. Not a big deal. The closest record high is Friday at 99. Was it 1943? So that's back when FDR was president, long time ago. The record high today, by the way, is 102 from 2007. So not all that long ago, but 102 is still hot. I just don't. There's no way we're going to be near record territory today or tomorrow. But closest one we make a run toward may very well be Friday. Something to watch. 95 Saturday, 91 Sunday, and again opportunities for showers and storms most likely with the heating of the day primarily in the afternoon. So if you're on the call, just wanted to say good morning to you, and I'll be signing off here in moments. But 7:02. Audrey says, "Wow." Wanda says, "Hope we get some snow in October." It sure makes me happy to say goodbye to the ragweed. I don't blame you. Who's ready to say goodbye to that? And then you look over here on YouTube, and I've got 5 people. We've added some people, but Steve is the only one who's written a comment. But good morning to you all. I'm very happy that you're here as we continue on this track to get us through what has been an interesting summer, where it's been either very dry and then too many storms, even a EF2 tornado in West Knox County a couple of Mondays ago. I mean, we've had it all, right? And now we're on our biggest heat wave of the year. This should be day number 13. And the last time we had any measurable rain was Tuesday, August 15th. So a little more than a week ago since we've had any rain, but we've looked at the moisture deficit. So we're still in a surplus of about 2 to 3 inches above since the start of the year. And that's something I like to keep my premium members in tune of, because that's one of the things that we do. I post quite a bit on the Facebook page throughout the day. If you'd like to join us, go to CaptainAccurate.com. Very affordable, just 16 cents a day, $4.99 a month, which is really what cost of a cup of coffee these days. Really not much at all. And I'm going to be getting closer to my winter weather outlook. There's a lot of reasons to join our group. Would love to have you expand the group just on YouTube and, of course, on Facebook, and join us on YouTube with the YouTube channel. Anyway, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.